Okay, just a disclaimer before we begin the video. I am very bad with unscripted commentary and speaking in general. Yeah, I'm very sorry for that, for my poor speech. So you're gonna find me stuttering, like taking long pauses when I have nothing to say and using the wrong word. And for using the wrong word is nothing too bad, but it's still kind of bad. Regardless, I hope you can still enjoy the video, and the next video will be scripted, so you don't have to worry about me doing all those things. Hello guys, let's talk about garrisons. Today we're going to be ranking all of the occupation laws in a tier list. Yes, I know, a tier list video. Lame. Well, I really have no video idea. I will be making a guide video though in the future, but my school year starts in a week, so I might not get it out in 2 weeks. It might take me a bit longer. This is going to be not really a rough year, but an okay year, I guess. We'll see how it goes. And if you're wondering why I wasn't uploading for 2 weeks, I was on vacation, and now I'm back so I can make this video. So if you don't know what the occupation laws are, they're basically a set of laws that either add or remove resistance. Most of the time it's removing resistance. So basically in occupied states like this one, there's a mechanic called resistance, and you want resistance to be down and compliance to be high, because compliance gives a lot of buffs and resistance gets a lot of debuffs. So yeah, you want resistance to be down. Along with, yeah, so that's why these laws exist, to decrease resistance. Along with decreasing resistance and sometimes increasing compliance, they also give certain buffs. So yeah, today we're gonna rank them in a tier list. Hope you guys enjoy. So the first one we're gonna start off with is no garrison right here. Now, for no garrison, so you have the option to pick no garrison. That means you don't use any manpower nor equipment. However, it can boost resistance by 40%. And you may be asking, if you want to get resistance down, why would you use this? I mean, okay, you're gonna have to use this a lot. Let's say as Germany, you're gonna start Barb soon, and you have all of these occupied states. Why do I keep clicking there? And France is especially a problem, because actually no, I didn't let it go yet. But France is especially a problem with resistance as Germany. So you might want to keep France on another thing and the rest on no garrison. Or you could switch it later. If you desperately need the manpower and equipment, just go with no garrison. It's actually quite decent, but the resistance, the plus 40 resistance is kind of bad. I'm gonna put it in, I guess, B tier, because yeah, it's yeah, it is kind of viable, so yeah. And we're gonna move on. Next one is civilian oversight. Now, let's go over to civilian oversight. Basically, this gives a minus 25 manpower. You're not using as much. You're not using a lot of manpower for it, but it's still more manpower than no garrison, because no garrison is none. It doesn't give any compliance. It doesn't modify resistance in any way. I'm just gonna kind of see how this goes. And we still have 0 manpower, so yeah, let's see how this goes. Yeah, resistance can vary. I'd say I don't know if you should really use this, because I have yet to see a person who actually uses this. You can just go with no garrison and it's better, or even local police force, but we'll get to that later. Civilian oversight is not bad, but not good. Actually, I'm gonna put it in C tier, and I'll adjust it later if needed. Next one is local police force. Let's go over there. Local police force, okay. It modifies the resistance target by -15%. It decreases compliance by 0.025%. And it also does not require a lot of manpower. Actually, less than civilian oversight, which is kind of weird. I'd say you should use this. It's cheap, it does its job, and the compliance gain is, and the compliance, and like the less compliance isn't even that bad. So I'd say you should go with this. This is a pretty good one. But yeah, there are better ones though. There are better ones. I use this for early game. This is my go-to for early game. But this can, I don't know if you guys use this. I'm gonna put it in A tier. I feel like it deserves an A tier just because it's cheap. It's cheap and does the job, I guess. Next one is secret police. And okay, secret police. It decreases resistance by -30%. The manpower is -15%. You don't use as much manpower, but the compliance is, you get less compliance. And look at these buffs here. You get 5% more resources, 5% more factories. Yeah, -15% damage to garrisons, required garrisons, enemy intel network strength gain. I mean, you could use this. It's fine, I guess. You could use this. The resistance is, yeah, it removes resistance by a decent amount. The factories and resources are okay, I guess. And yeah, you don't use that much manpower. So I'd say this gets a B tier. I think it's better than no garrison. Actually, no, I think no garrison is still better. The next one is military governor. Now this one is the default one that you start off with. It decreases resistance by -35. So yeah, it decreases resistance by -35. It also decreases your compliance. Not that much of a decrease to secret police. Yep, this is fine. No, it's not fine. This military governor thing, it decreases the compliance by that. And you use the default amount of manpower. It also gives manpower, but it sort of cancels out because you're using quite a lot of manpower for it at the start of the game, at least. The local resources isn't really that big of a thing compared to the manpower. Like, the resources are not gonna cut it. 10% more resources, it's fine and all, but you're gonna use a lot of manpower. Yeah, you're gonna use a lot of manpower. Overall, I say this is, I guess, C. Actually, no, D tier. They're just like better options. Next one is martial law. Martial law is another default manpower one. The compliance, okay, you get less compliance, -0.055%, and it decreases resistance by a whopping 60%. This is quite the, okay, I'd say this is it's a quite harsher one, I'd say. The compliance is fine. You can deal with the low compliance gain, but the resistance is, the -60% resistance is good, and you use around the same amount of manpower as military governor. But you don't, actually get the manpower back. So you're using more. Also 8% manpower, meaning if you use it on all of these territories, it's gonna make a huge difference. Okay, I'm gonna give this C tier. Yeah, I'm gonna give this C tier for now. It's fine. Next up, we have forced labor. Now let's go over to forced labor. It decreases resistance by -40%. It decreases compliance by 0.08%, but you use 15% more manpower. But look at the buffs of this thing. You get 40% more resources. That is absolutely insane. 5% more factories. But at the same time, you get a lot of damage to garrisons. But you do get lower sabotage chance. I don't know what that really does. And you get infrastructure repair speed. Because I guess the people that are building the things, I don't know. Overall, the less compliance is not worth it. And the manpower is not worth it. I mean, if you really need resources quick, just for a little bit, you need to get some of the resources back. You can go for this, but I don't see why you would go for this. You can just go for some of the cheaper ones, or even martial law. Martial law is probably better. The resources are not really worth it for the low compliance and more manpower. So I'd say that I'd give this a D tier. Next up, we got harsh quotas. Harsh quotas is, it decreases resistance by -40%, decreases compliance by the same amount, and it uses 15% more manpower. So it's literally the same as forced labor, but let's see. It gets, local resources plus 5%, local factories plus 25%. That is crazy. Resistance target -40%, damage to garrisons plus 50. That's pretty bad. But you do get a lot of repair speed, so along with the extra factories and the sabotage chance, like, I'd say this is okay. I'm just gonna put this as the default law. I'm just gonna put this as a default law and see what happens. So right now we have 355 factories. Okay, as you can see, it is going up. Oh my, 520. Oh my god, this is going up like crazy. Okay, if you have a lot of land and you need some desperate factories. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know why you would use this, because you're never gonna get large enough. You're never gonna get large enough to where this would be beneficial. I mean, if you are, like, even if you are, the less compliance makes it like not viable. Maybe you shouldn't really use this as your default law. Maybe in like certain areas. Like maybe in certain areas where there's high resistance, and just use it there. You shouldn't use this as the default law. You should only use this in bursts, I guess. Also, the tornado sirens are going off in my area. They're testing it for some reason. I don't know why. Overall, I'd say this is... I'd say you can go B tier. Actually, no, C tier. Also, did I say forced labor instead of harsh quotas? I might have. I forgot to rank the last one in the tier list. Yeah, like I said, it's in C tier. Now we're gonna move on to the ones that are exclusive to certain ideologies. The first one is brutal oppression. Okay, let's go over to... I'm gonna switch this back. So, brutal oppression. This decreases resistance by 75%, which is crazy. It decreases compliance by a lot as well, minus 0.11. That is like minus 0.11. That's, you're not going to be getting any compliance. And this uses a ton of manpower. Okay, let's look at the buffs. It gives you 10% plus 10% local resources. That's whatever. Resistance decay speed plus 100%. It's double. It goes down at double the speed. You don't really have to worry about it going down at a higher speed. It's just gonna go down. But this is extremely expensive. It isn't that much better than martial law. Also, where, like, in what scenario would you? Is there a place with such high resistance in order to, like, use brutal oppression? Like, you should. I don't know why you should use this. There's never gonna be like an area with really high resistance. Like, as long as you're using a decent law for that area, you should be fine. Anyways, yep, D tier. The next one that is exclusive to an ideology is liberated workers. And for this one, you have to be communist. As you can see, I am communist. So let's go over here. You can select liberated workers. This decreases resistance by 15%, decreases compliance by 0.025%, and it uses 15% less manpower. So let's see this. It gives plus 30% local resources, plus 20 local factories. That's almost as much as harsh quotas. It increases damage to garrisons, but that's okay. And the compliance is not even that bad. It's the same as local police force. I think we found our first S tier. This is actually crazy. Yep. This is going in S tier. The next one that is exclusive to an ideology is local autonomy. And for this, you have to be democratic. So I'm gonna change myself to democratic real quick, if my keyboard will work. And you have the option to set the area to local autonomy. This increases resistance by plus 10%. This actually increases compliance. Actually, that's one of two of occupation laws in the game that increase compliance, and this uses pretty much no manpower, minus 40% needed manpower. Overall, I'd say this is pretty good. The plus 10 resistance isn't even that bad. You could just switch to a different law real quick. Yeah. And compliance gives a lot of buffs. So let's go to an area with high compliance. Let's say around. Why do I keep clicking there? I don't understand why. Yeah, 9% compliance. This gives resources, manpower, and factories. It's quite nice. Yes, I will put this in. I'm gonna put this in A tier. It's not nearly as good as local police force, though. The next one is colonial police. This is actually one of two hidden ones, and this can only be accessed as Italy after you complete Italian highways. After you complete Ministry of Italian Africa, you have this option, colonial police. Yeah, like I said, you have to unlock it by getting Ministry of Italian Africa, which is unlocked by completing these two focuses. So now you can go to. This only works for African territories, so let's just find an African territory, and it automatically sets to colonial police. Now, colonial police, it decreases resistance by 30%. It decreases compliance by minus 0.2%, and it doesn't need that much manpower, minus 30. This is absolutely broken, and it gets even better. Yeah, it can get even better, and it's already broken. So to make it even better, you have to develop one of the occupied states you own. Then you have to go for regional development, and that makes it okay. So now it is minus 35% resistance. It gives, okay, so this decreases resistance by compliance by less, and this requires less manpower. Let me just see if anything has changed in Eritrea, because I feel like that's around the same. There. Yeah, it doesn't really change by a lot, and you can make it even better from that. So you can then go for this focus, Polizia dell'Africa Italiana. This makes it even better. So as you can see now, it decreases resistance by minus 45%. It decreases compliance by minus 0.01%, and it requires 40% less manpower. This is certified. Yeah, I'm just waiting for it to switch. This is certified S tier. The final occupation law is reconciliation. This one is another hidden one that not many people know about, and you can only unlock it while playing as Turkey. I actually don't have Battle for the Bosporus. Yeah, I'm broke. I'm still going to give you the stats. Basically, with Battle for the Bosporus, you get a unique focus tree instead of the default one. Yeah, anyways, back to reconciliation. This is only exclusive to Kurdish states. It's not showing here for some reason. It's not showing here for some reason. Okay, so reconciliation. It doesn't do anything to resistance. It boosts compliance by 0.03%. Another one that boosts compliance. It requires 50% less manpower, and that's it. And also, I guess, minus 30% damage to garrisons. You have to complete either a common destiny for all of Turkey or permit regional elections. This also gives plus 50% resistance decay speed, I guess. This I'd say is B tier. I don't know why you should really use this. You can just use one of the default laws. Anyways, that is the HOI4 occupation laws tier list, the shittier version. Anyways, bye. Oh wait, one more thing. If we get this video to, I guess, 15 likes, I will make a mod with a ton of new occupation laws. Yes, I know there is already a mod that does that, but I'm gonna make mine have way more, and it's gonna give unique stats and new stats as a whole. I kind of know nothing about modding, but I'm willing to do it for you guys that have stayed with me for a long time, like, no, not really a long time, just a year and a half. Anyways, bye.